This is Park the Bus with Stephen Caldwell, Kevin Kilbane and Luke Wildman.
Welcome into Graham Leggett's for a special edition of Park the Bus, where we're talking post-match of Canada against Australia, and we've got Jimmy Brennan joining us again, Kev, and the great Atiba Hutchinson's here. His first time in Graham Leggett's.
Every time we announce him, it's got to be the great, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The great Atiba Hutchinson,
anyway.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How's it
Good
been
to be here.
for the last year for you since retirement? Everything
It's
been good?
It's been good, yeah. A lot of time still with the kids.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten out of that rhythm, but I'm enjoying it. I'm just enjoying my time. As we all know, we've had long careers and put so much time and effort into it, and now just figuring out how the transition's gonna be. So I'm just enjoying it.
You missing playing?
No, I'm not missing playing. I'm not missing playing at all. I mean, I watch when I can. Kids keep me busy, but yeah, I don't miss. I haven't even really kicked the ball since I started.
Do you miss anything? Because I was pretty much like, I didn't miss playing. I missed training day to day. That's pretty much what I missed. It wasn't necessarily the games that I missed, actually.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like my last season, I was kind of ready in my head to call it a day. I played that season because of the World Cup. That was important for me. So I was kind of like getting myself ready to call it a day. And yeah, I don't know. There's not much of it that I miss. You know, I enjoy to watch the games every once in a while with the kids and stuff. But as I said, long careers and the effort that you put into it, the time before training, after training, it's so much that we put into the game, and I was just ready to just let it all out.
You not fancy just grinding it out for 3 more years till the next World Cup? Play the whole World Cup would have been the ideal for you,
A bit too far away. Yeah. What are you doing to keep fit? You're still in great shape.
We were just speaking about paddle. That's how I keep.
Great game, isn't it?
Yeah, I love the game, and it's not too demanding, and it's just a lot of fun. You know, it's a good socializing game as well, so it's cool. Yeah.
So guys, we're just off the game. Obviously a disappointing night for Canada. Kev, I'll come to you first. Yeah. What do you think? What is your immediate reaction to the performance? The type of opponent that really frustrates Canada, wasn't it? And do you feel there's a lot to learn, or are you disappointed? What's your immediate emotion?
First point, a lot to learn again. Struggling, as you say, to open up a side that plays like Australia. We saw it against Guatemala, El Salvador in Gold Cup, guys, and Canada struggled to open up this type of system and score goals against them. Now, there was a lot to like and admire about the first half performance. I thought Tejan Buchanan started really well. I thought Ismail Kone was very, very good. But we're no further on who's going to partner Johnny David up front again with Cyle Larin. He just didn't do enough tonight to really cement himself in Jesse Marsch. In our mind, that we're saying he's the guy. Yeah. And this is the difficulty I think we're continuing to have. But off the back of that first half performance, where it was, I wouldn't say it was domination, but it was comfortable. I've maybe felt it was too comfortable in the first half. That, almost like they were hit with sucker punches, and Australia could have scored 2 or 3 before they got the first goal. It was Australia came to life at half-time. Whatever Popovic said at half-time, the Australian coach, that they felt we can turn them a bit more, we can be a little bit more positive, and Canada didn't look like they were ready for that in the second half. So I think there's more questions to answer rather than the real positives from the whole game, Stevie, to be fair.
I thought they came out so flat in the second half, guys. It was strange, because after the first half, where I thought it was quite promising, wasn't a load of chances, but they were definitely a better team. And so I thought second half they would go to the next level. They would find more energy. Yeah. It was a complete opposite. They were so flat, and it just gave the Australians so much confidence, Jimmy. I felt like Australia had a couple of little moments. They got in behind a little bit, and they felt like the game was there for the taking. And you could feel the momentum shift, and then Canada had no reaction to that.
It was almost kind of like Australia. I mean, going in at halftime 0-0, Australia would have been happy with that, right? Because of the way that we were playing. And I think they've probably sat in a dressing room and went, they're not going to break us down here. Yeah. And then when they do try to come at us again, they open up a little bit, and we're going to get our opportunities going forward. And you could see they grew into the game the second half, didn't they? And that's when they started to get their chances. Yeah. And if you guys know what it's like, you get 1-2 chances, you start looking at each other thinking, hey, we're going to get a couple more here.
They had a bit off the bench as well, didn't they? The couple of substitutions that they made helped them. I think you said it in commentary, Steve, it was real quality they were bringing in. Yeah. Their best players were actually coming into the game, and that changed it for Australia. Atiba, it's funny because, you know, especially you guys, it's probably more prominent with you guys to answer these sort of questions. You've played for Canada when probably Canada have had to play certain ways to get results. Now we kind of expect Canada to play a different way. We expect them to win virtually every game they're playing against. You know, this is a side that's ranked around them some sort of level. You would say probably Canada have got better players than Australia. Yet it was the same old problems that we found with Canada, not able to open them up, Atiba, wasn't it? That's what I felt anyway.
I agree, yeah. For me, I think that's the next level for this team. You know, they need to figure out how to break these types of teams down. They can play against the best of them in the world now. They've shown that, you know, they've got a lot of confidence with any team they play, but it's those teams that really sit back and how they find ways to break them down. You know,
what do you think it is? What do you think they can do then to change it?
I don't think they were moving the ball quick enough. I don't think it was just too slow.
Too obvious, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Easy to shift as a opposition.
Yeah, touches on the ball. You got to get it quicker and get the, you know, players running in behind. And, you know, there was 1 or 2 moments where we could have got players that made that run to get on the end of it, and we're kind of lacking in that phase.
And we were actually talking as the game was going on, and because of the intensity that the Canadians play at, we're both kind of going, I mean, there's got to be a time where it's like, okay, let's get a rhythm in the game here now. Yeah. Now we need to keep possession. Where every time they seem to get it, it's like, we got to go, we have to go, we have to go. But when a team bunkers in the way that Australia did, it's hard to keep going all the time. Sometimes you just need to have that breather and move the ball around.
That's right, yeah. Slow the game down and just continue to dictate the tempo.
Yeah, the probe and pull them out of position, make them tired, you know?
The rhythm guy, Stevie, is Eustáquio. He's the natural guy you think of. He is the guy that can speed up, slow a game down. He's got that real ability, I feel, to do that more than anyone in the team. So, I mean, it looks likely he will start against Colombia. I don't know what you think.
Absolutely,
like
has to.
But
it's nothing against Saliba and Kone. No. It's just Eustáquio sort of understands the game and when it needs to slow it or to speed it up. And I don't think the two guys in the middle of the park, not just singling out them, anybody in the Red of Canada understood when to kind of bring tempo to the game and maybe not. That was disappointing, but we should listen for Jesse Marsch first, guys. We'll throw to Jesse and then we'll react to that. Here's Jesse.
How much of a lesson will this be when you take a look at what might happen in the World Cup? You face an opponent that made it to the round of 16 of the last tournament. You dominated possession, home crowd. A regrettable error leads to a goal, and you're facing a goalkeeper who looked throughout the game like he was on a hot streak. What do you take away from a game like this?
Yeah, exactly that. This is what World Cup games will be like. I think we can be on top of games against opponents, but it's the fine margins of making sure that we're not letting anything slip away, not making little mistakes in front of our goal. Nico Segura's been a great player for us over the last 6 months, and he's going to continue to be an important player for us. But he's young, and I said in front of the group, like, now's the time to make mistakes and learn from them. It's the same with Schaff in the summer, and I feel like Schaff is better for it. So, obviously we're disappointed. Felt like we had a really good game. Almost get a goal at the end to tie it up, so a lot of positives.
I can hear your voice get going. Is that more for the atmosphere and trying to go ahead and coach the guys up during the game?
Yeah, trying to communicate during the game wasn't easy, but you know, it was a good performance. I'm happy with the guys. We just have to learn from some of these little things.
And very quickly, when you're looking at those 17 chances, you and your staff, what will you be looking for? What will you be assessing for improvement going into Colombia?
Yeah, just a few better connections, some more clinical moments, but you know, at the end, hitting the post and all these different situations. Wish they would have been rewarded with the goal, but still, I'm really happy with the performance.
Thank you, Jesse. Rest your voice.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Sounds a bit hoarse there, doesn't it? He's been screaming a bit near the end.
You know what?
It's painful to listen to, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've probably all been there when we got on the field, you're screaming at teammates and things like that when your voice goes. It's funny listening, though. It's interesting listening to Jesse Marsch's assessment there, what he saw in the game, and I think when he probably looks back at it and he'll look at how they could have been a bit more clinical, they could have been better in certain areas.
Well, I was going to say that, Kevin. That first half, I think when we all watched the game back, the chances were there.
Yeah.
They should have scored a goal or two, Jimmy. They were in the right positions and they weren't clinical. And not to try and compare Canada to a Germany or a France or one of the truly top nations, but they would have found the goal, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
A big team would have been clinical when it mattered, and it would have changed the whole complexion of this game, because then Australia have to come out of Atiba, and we need to see what they're capable of in possession, and it plays into Canada's hands, doesn't it?
Well, that's what we were saying. We were just hoping that they would get that goal. You know, they came close so many times, and that's what you want to do. You know, you're having a good performance, and you get close, and you just can't hit the back of the net. And against teams like this, you know, like we said, they start to grow in confidence. You know, we start very slow in the second half. We think that it's going to be the same way in the first half. It's football. It's never going to be 90 minutes the same way. So it's managing the game, but we got to find those ways to put the ball in the back of the net. That's what the best teams in the world are able to do.
I think watching that there, we saw a few chances there as well. And, you know, I think Matthew mentioned it to Jesse, there 17 chances, 17 shots or whatever. There was nothing, apart from Schaffelberg's chance when he should have scored. He absolutely should have scored within that.
Yeah.
Promised David looked a threat when he came on, but even the header from Tanny that hit the post, it was a scrappy football, wasn't it, to get them the chances. There was no real quality in opening up Australia, because they were quite set in the ways. The 5 across the back, the 3 centre halves. And maybe going to your point, Atiba, before, it wasn't moved, the ball wasn't moved quick enough, Jimmy, was it, really, to open that back 3 up?
No, it was. I mean, look, the last 15 minutes or so, we had a number of chances, balls across. Here you see Schaffelberg, he's got to score there. Maybe just lift it up a little bit. But for me, you're chasing the game there, and you're down 1-0. So everybody's going forward. So it's completely different, isn't it, than what it would be, you know, for the other 80 minutes.
There's the one you're talking about, Kev, where Tanny wins the header, but that was scrappy at the end. But when I look at some of the chances there, they were really good chances.
And the Schaffelberg one, as you said, Jimmy said he could have lifted it. I felt actually he could have just side-footed it straight back where the ball came from. You know, the little ones you learn when you were a kid, when you're practicing headers. That would have been the position that I would have tried to find myself in. Far post, you'd have known that yourself, Jimmy, as a left winger yourself as a kid. Arrive at the far post. If you're heading it, head it back across goal, or just almost like try and get a box in the goal, down back where it came from, or pass the ball back where it came from. That was the finish I felt there. But I mean, it did lack that way. And as much as Tajan Buchanan in the first half I thought was excellent, he showed real good moments. The left back Rowles with. He struggled badly in that first half. He really did. He did. And that's something that you've got to see, though, I feel, in the game. Keep giving the ball to Tajan Buchanan. Get him into the game as much as possible and let him exploit that weakness. That's a game know-how, I suppose, as well. I don't know. I come away with a little bit of disappointment from it. Again, going back to Cyle Larin, I was excited seeing Cyle Larin playing tonight, thinking, and we spoke about it before the game, I know you were quite interested to see how and excited yourself, Atiba, but it just didn't happen for him, did it? And it's hard because he's had a lack of game time and he's not got maybe the chances he's had. And speaking again, he's only scored 1 goal for Canada in the last year, but he was lacking tonight, wasn't he? And that's the thing. Yeah,
it's that. This is the game where you're hoping. You know, maybe it's not going that good for him throughout the game, but it's that one moment you get that chance and you put it in the back of the net, and then, you know, all weight is off your shoulder. It just didn't come for him today. You know, as we said, like, you just got to get back to the drawing board, get back to what you're used to. Keep that confidence in yourself. Keep working away at it, and hopefully, you know, you'll get that service, and then next time that ball comes and
that's a difficult part as well, isn't it? Trying to get that form back, because we know what he was like a few years back, how aggressive he was. Like that header that came over, the old Cyle Larin would have been over the top of that guy and powered that home. We know he can score. He scored at your old club. He scored in Orlando. He scored plenty with the national team. But it's just that confidence. And look, we've all played with strikers as well, where things aren't going well for them, and it's the simple things look so difficult, don't they? And I think that's where Cyle is at the moment.
I think at times it's difficult playing against the low block when you're the out-and-out number 9. You're not getting a lot of touches. You're working on scraps, but I think when you're playing against a team like that, you've got to move the ball quickly, as we mentioned, but you also have to make a lot of little runs in behind, because you've got to keep defenders running, moving, having to cover areas. We didn't have enough of that, did we? Canada were like just a bit too static in their forward areas, and it's run after run after run that just creates that gap, that one time where the quality chance comes.
It's not always a run for yourself. No, you're just opening up the space for your teammates, right?
You always think that run, it's Luis Suarez, isn't it? Luis Suarez is just running behind without maybe wanting the ball at times, but what it did, it freed up teammates. It was a constant thing from Suarez. Guys, I can't be. We never can be critical in any way of Jonathan David, but he is lacking maybe playing in this 10 position that we see him constantly in. He does so much. There's so much to admire about his game, so much to like. He enjoys dropping a bit deeper, it seems, Jimmy, doesn't it? When we've covered him in the last few games. No shots tonight, though. Yeah. No real goal threat from Jonathan David at all. And again, it goes down to the style of play from Australia. But how do you think he's going to be feeling after this game tonight?
I think he'd be disappointed, really, because, I mean, Jonathan David, I think every time he steps on that park, he's expecting chances and he's expected to score goals. And for some reason, it was just that lack of service. But it's because where he was playing as well. And when you're playing a team that goes into a low block,
no space,
and they're very, very compact. Yeah. There's no space whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what you were saying is somebody's got to make those runs in behind to pull those defenders out, to create those little pockets that he can get in there and play. Because that's where he's at his best. And I think he just lacked the service today.
I also didn't think he was sharp, guys. I mean, I know he's not been starting so much at Juventus, and I felt like, I felt like he lacked that when he's at his best. He's really sharp. There was one, I think it was Waterman, gave him a little ball down the side, and he had to take it in one, get it out wide, and he took that little bit extra. I think he might have got a free kick, but everything was just a little laboured for me. He wasn't at his best, and yes, he didn't have a lot of chances, Jimmy, but the few times that he did, again, he had to be more clinical and sharper with it when he had the chance.
Well, we were sitting here, and you made a good point, and I want to know what you think about it as well.
It doesn't happen too often, Jimmy, let me tell you.
Where did you say Jonathan Davis should play and who underneath him?
Well, I've said it constantly, even on the pod. We spoke about it last month as well, in for the last window. I think there is an opportunity for Jesse Marsch to experiment with Jonathan David playing as a 9 and Kone perhaps to be a bit more advanced, and you could go with Eustachio alongside Saliba, Swanier, whoever it would be. I think there's an opportunity to try that. Now, you'd think naturally that Colombia would be the better chance
I'll say, Kev, if he doesn't do it against Colombia, he's never going to go there, is he? Against a top quality opposition like that is his perfect opportunity to play that third midfielder, Atiba.
Yeah, and I think that's what's missing right now, because as we said, we're in those good areas right and around the box, and we need that little bit of creativity, that little through ball, the little slip pass, and gives them the green light to kind of just have that role to just look for that, always searching between the lines, get turned, and combine with the strikers. And I think that's what we need right now, especially in those type of games.
Yeah. You know what, Atiba? I know that you've probably been asked the question. I think we've spoken to you about it. We asked you the question about that game against Croatia at the World Cup. I don't want to bring up bad memories to you, but do you know But I am. But you know that brilliant threat. I honestly, I experienced it myself playing international football. I always felt playing against top class teams, if you didn't have 3 men in midfield that could help you give just stability in the game, the game can get away from you quickly. You end up running out of position. I played a little bit in central midfield myself at times, but we would always have had the striker dropping deep or playing with a natural 10 that gives us the stability in midfield to keep hold of the ball. That's what leads me to suggest that in the heat of next year's World Cup, Canada are not going to have a lot of possession at times. I think they're going to have to hold on to it when they get it. And Kone is the natural guy that I feel that could give them that assistance in that position,
Well, me as a midfielder, I always love playing with 3 in the midfield. You just feel more secure, you feel you've got that balance and the control of the game, especially when you're working well together. So to kind of win the midfield is always important in any kind of game that you're playing. As you said, you get closer to the World Cup, those games in the World Cup, that's where it's very important to make sure you control it. So I think we got to get that right, for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that Jesse doesn't go there is because he loves to press in the 4-2-4. And I think he's a little concerned about Kone really stepping into that front line and pressing with, say, David.
Yeah.
I really believe that's one of the main reasons. Within possession and within a rotation of a 3-man midfield, let's say it's Eustachio, Saliba and Kone, that sounds great to me, but I think he's worried about who steps up in the forward line.
I know. But do you think he's holding something back, Stevie, maybe for Tuesday?
Maybe, I hope so. I mean, I hope he tries it. I think that's the absolute time to experiment. A top quality side that are likely to have more than the 50% in possession. They're going to have more of the ball. And the facts of the matter are, guys, Cyle Larin's off form. Tani Oluwaseyi's not done enough to say he absolutely deserves to start. And Promise David is getting moments, 20 minutes here and there. So when you don't have a partner for Jonathan David, that's at the top of his game, that's absolutely doing it, and that's saying to you, we can't leave him out, why not give it a go, Atiba? Why not go with the 3 and see how... Because Saliba and Kone were excellent tonight, especially in the first half. So they both deserve to play. And we've talked about Stefan Eustachio's strengths. Go with the third guy, give it a go and see how it works.
Yeah, getting closer to the World Cup. There's not many games left. If there's ever a chance, it's now, you know, just to kind of see how the players react to it and how it changes up the way of play from, you know, each individual and the team as a collective, right?
It's an interesting point, just lastly, and I think before we do move on for it, but Jesse Marsch has constantly spoken, when we've been on the calls with him as well, about every training session has meaning with the purpose or the end goal of that World Cup, that opening game. So everything he's doing now is towards that moment. This is the full process that he's going through. So leading to your point, what you made, it probably is unlikely he's going to do it, because if he's not done it before now, it's unlikely he's going to do it with only 5 or 6 games now before that opener in Toronto next summer.
Yeah. But wouldn't you try it? Wouldn't you
I would. I think it's worth it.
I mean, try even a few things. We're talking about one formation or one tweak. Maybe you would try some different things. He's kind of went to 3-5 at the back when he's been in the lead. He's put an extra centre back on, so he's kind of experimented that a little bit, and he might use that in a scenario. But we've never seen the 3 midfielders, which I find really strange, just because of Kone's ability to be that link man. Yeah. When this guy accelerates and he goes into overdrive, the one through the centre where it just never quite settled for him. He's unbelievable, Jimmy, isn't he?
No, he's fantastic. I mean, look, when you look at the last 3 games and you say, okay, Romania, the way that they played, they wanted to come out the back and we pressed, and it was a great game for us because we got a lot of joy.
It suited the style.
It suited that style. We go to Wales. Wales, it was physical, it was aggressive. We get stuck in, we compete.
Yeah.
But the one thing that we do struggle is with that low block.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that is going to be the biggest issues. And I think when teams are scouting and are watching this team, because they're going to be terrified of the pace. And that's one of the reasons why Australia ends up bunkering in, because they're thinking, we can't play a high line here because we're going to get done in.
And that's their style.
And we have to figure out how we're going to fix this problem with a low block.
But guys, I'll say this, for Canada to qualify from their group, they're going to have to beat a pot 3 or a pot 4 team.
Yes.
And the likelihood of a pot 3 or a pot 4 team coming in and taking the game to Canada is slim. They're going to sit back, they're going to frustrate a home crowd, they're going to try and create anxiety inside the stadium, a little bit like what happened tonight, times 10, times 20, Kev. Atiba, you guys know, you've played at World Cups. The pressure's going to be ramped up, so it's going to be difficult. They need to work on that a lot. They need to find a way, a style to get down the sides, around the sides, balls across the front, crosses into the box. They've got to come up with a plan B or a plan C or whatever you want to call it to find other ways to win, Kev.
Did they maybe miss a little bit of Alistair Johnson tonight? Did they miss, dare I say, Alphonso Davies? You know, the goal they conceded, I don't think would have been conceded if Bombito's playing tonight, because I don't think he gets beaten down the outside.
Stop the cross.
Waterman, you know, couldn't get near the guy. I think Waterman should stop the cross anyway, regardless of the huge mistake from Segura. Segura shouldn't. I mean, international football, we know this guy. You make one mistake at international football, it can cost you an international career. Yeah. That's the way that it is. It's cutting. It's so.
Yeah,
it's
high
so hard.
stakes, isn't it?
It is high stakes every game, and you're scrutinised
ruthless
for every single mistake that you make at international football as well.
Especially now,
Especially now, more so now. You're right. Especially with us guys chatting around it.
I also thought he saw Irankunda on his outside, so it was really weird for me the way that he took the ball. Yeah, it was far too casual.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, I mean, we know this, sometimes you just got to defend.
Yeah.
Get out of the area. You know, there was so many things he could have done. He'll know that. We don't need to labour the point. But
he had a great game until then, you know.
He was playing well, and he's done well for Canada, and hopefully he gets over it. But it was a big mistake, to Jesse's point in the post-match interview there, Kev. It was a big mistake when, you know, it was clearly a game that probably one goal was going to decide it. So you can't make a mistake in that match.
I know.
And worst case scenario, you're frustrated because you're 0-0. But instead, you know.
But you know, in that situation too, though, as that ball's coming across, I mean, he doesn't check the shoulder to see where the man is either, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not sure, just get it out.
Do you think he saw him? I think he saw him.
I thought he saw him.
I
thought he saw him.
Because I know you can.
I think he saw him on the inside, but he didn't see him come on the outside.
But he knows he's in the area. I think he knows that with the position he is at Atiba when the cross comes in, doesn't he?
He misread how sharp the lad was. And the lad was quick, wasn't he? And he did so well.
Slide tackle to finish.
Yeah, I know.
Finish that
well, let's look ahead to Tuesday, guys, because there's a big game on the horizon. in New Jersey against a quality side with truly world-class players. So how do you see Canada reacting, Kev? Are they going to answer, the disappointment, or is there going to be a bit of a hangover here?
Yeah, potentially a hangover, but I think the way that Jesse Marsch is almost mentioned about, he really wants to test himself against this Colombia side. Colombia are a top 15 ranked side. We've spoken about top class personnel that they've got within their side. So this will be a sterner test. They'll have less possession, so they'll be able to play the way Jesse Marsch wants them to play. I think there will be changes. Dane St. Clair looks like he's probably going to start this game.
Yep.
Up front, I think he'll make the change. I think this maybe is the game to play Tanny a little bit. I know he spoke about. I'd like to see that experimentation of Jonathan David, but I don't think he will do it because he's not done it in the past. So I think Tanny probably will start because it gives them that counter attack. It gives them the outlet. Out wide, I thought Ali Ahmed did okay tonight. First half, he wasn't as effective as we've seen him. Tejan was excellent again out wide. To the wide areas, look like they're taking care of it again. Eustáquio, I would like to see Eustáquio coming into this game especially.
Who for though? Saliba?
I think Saliba.
Easy one.
I think it was Saliba. Coney was too good.
Coney
was too good, and
he's got that confidence. You got to let him just keep riding with that, right?
Yeah, I know you play with Coney as well, and you play with Eustáquio, and you know what these guys bring, Atiba. So it is an interesting point from your take as well, how you feel that midfield will be put together ahead of the World Cup.
Yeah, and I think the closer we get, you're gonna kind of get the team that you really want to go with in the World Cup. I know there's still a few more games, but maybe another 1 or 2 games. Jesse likes to do the rotation and see as many players as you can, but the closer you get, you really want to find your team. Yeah,
but he's definitely the rotation has definitely slowed down a bit with Jesse. It's not as we've not seen 10 changes now. With 3 changes, obviously the goalkeeping situation that takes care of itself. There's been an enforced with De Fugero not quite fit tonight, so that one's enforced with him. So there's very few changes from the Wales game anyway. He's stuck with that same midfield 4. He's stuck with Jonathan David, and he's giving Cyle Larin that other chance. So I think there might be more changes to this game. I want to see Eustáquio. I want to see Eustáquio fully establish himself ahead of the summer. That's the one change I think needs to be made in there.
I think I'm also very interested to see how they'll bounce back from this game.
Yeah.
Because we've seen time and time again that they always like to be in these moments and then really show what they're made of. So it's a great test for them to go out there.
Some test though, isn't it, to bounce back? Colombia.
Yeah, it'd be a completely different game.
It's not a Central American opponent.
Yeah.
It's Colombia.
This is a top team as well that can build out the back. They can deal with pressure. They'll have players that are comfortable getting pressed quick.
But strong side,
But I'm interested in see, are they going to play a high press, or are they going to go into that medium block and let them come a little bit, and then we press them down. There's spacing behind, and now
Romania,
we can go.
That it was a bit of a mid block, and then when they pressed, it was so impressive what they did in that game.
The press was poor tonight, though. I know Australia didn't have too much of the ball, but Canada were off a bit tonight.
I actually felt as well there was an opportunity, Stevie, because Australia, I felt, didn't move the ball quick enough across the back. It felt in the first half they were never going to get out their own half. So I think there was a chance for Canada just to squeeze a bit higher. That might be down to the fact is that Joe Waterman hasn't played enough, so he's not able to get the back 4 up and push the midfield up ahead of him. So that could have been the issue tonight. I don't know, but I think there was chances against an Australian side that just didn't look like they were capable of playing through Canada.
Yeah, they had a couple of little presses, I guess, in the first half, the middle of the part, where they got the ball back and they went, but I didn't see that.
Lucky.
Yeah, I didn't see that aggressive press that we've seen from Canada in recent games. We talked about opportunities for Waterman, Crepeau, Saliba even, Cyle Larin. Well, it flips again, Jim, doesn't it? Because what a chance for St. Clair to go out there and be dominant, make some saves. Young Luke De Fugero to sort of establish himself as that second/third centre-back. It's a real opportunity now with Eustáquio as well to show how much he was missed. These guys have to come in and bring the energy, don't they, for some of the players that will start again that are maybe a bit tired.
Yeah, well, they have to. I mean, this is you've only got a couple more chances here to showcase what you got and be a part of this squad. So every minute that you're on that pitch, every game that you end up playing, you've got to make something happen. You've got to show your value. Otherwise, you're not going to be in that squad. And it just seems like everybody that's coming on is, they're raising the bar. They're getting better and stronger as a group collectively. And Liam Miller as well. It was great to see him come on and get 15 minutes.
And he did quite well.
And he did quite well.
I don't know if he's ready to start, but he showed.
He set up the chance, didn't he, for Schaffelberg? He did.
I think he's a smart player. I really do think Liam Miller's got a part to play next summer if he gets fit and he gets some time at Hull, some stars.
Yeah, I know.
I like a lot about him.
I just think as well, there's a lot more questions that have been asked of the side again tonight. That we're again talking about the guys that's missing rather than the guys that's playing there a little bit, aren't we? So I think they need a performance on Tuesday. I think we're looking ahead to that, and I really do think they need a big performance in that game.
We're in a good position though that we have this much depth. We never had it back in the day, so it's a good conversation that we're speaking about.
Yeah, we have the discussion between 17, 18 guys that can legitimately go in there and do a strong job. It's good times for sure.
Yeah, it is.
We'll be back again on Tuesday post game for another edition. Hopefully after a top Canada performance. Thanks for coming, Atiba.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys.
Jim as well.
This is Park the Bus with Stephen Caldwell, Kevin Kilbane and Luke Wildman.